Hello friends! In the video for September, I will specifically describe the trines in the earth signs. Trines that will have the most influence on Virgos, Taurus and Capricorn people. I will talk further about the lunar activity and the eclipses that await us in October and about their impact on the lives of individuals, so I will not speak about the impact on the world events and politics that I will talk about in my October video. We will also see that major planets in September are retrograde, which means that this month is the month when the situation is being examined, and after this big events will happen. On the 15th of September, it's new moon in Virgo, and on the 29th, is full moon in Aries. Sun is until the 23rd in Virgo, then it's in Libra. Mercury is in Virgo from the 16th, is direct. Venus in Leo from the 4th is direct. Mars is in Libra. Jupiter from the 5th retrograde in Taurus, Saturn retrograde in Pisces, Uranus retrograde in Taurus, Neptune retrograde in Pisces, and Pluto retrograde in Capricorn. You see, all major planets are retrograde. In September, the Sun transits through the sign of Virgo, marking the end of the summer season. September is one of the most fruitful months of the year, the time when fruits are gathered. A person who shops in supermarket does not know the benefits of this period, but anyone who is in contact with nature knows how to enjoy September. Astrologically, the beginning of the month itself is promising. On September the 4th, Mercury in Virgo forms the trine with Jupiter in Taurus. And thus begins a whole series of trines in earth signs. Mercury itself is in Virgo, where it rules according to classical astrology, which is always a good sign for us, but until the 15th, it's retrograde. And later during the month, although direct, Mercury is still in its shadow until the last day in September. However, this should not make confusion, because Mercury is beneficial through the whole month. In the first half of the month, it symbolizes passive analysis, learning based on past experiences. In the second half of the month, it brings practical solutions and useful services to others. As early as September the 6th, Mercury will be in conjunction with the Sun, which is an aspect that in Indian astrology they call Kazimi. This Kazimi is now very special because Mercury is in quite strong position in Virgo, and it gains a special strength there in Virgo itself, but also with this aspect. This aspect Kazimi means that the planet sits in the arms of the Sun, so it looks like the Sun is holding this planet. However, I remind you that it's retrograde. Mercury is retrograde. So this all can mean, it can mean that many things are analyzed and a lot is going to be done in the world with the idea to save this planet and the fruits of this planet. 4th of September is especially going to be beneficial for Virgos and Gemini people. You probably know that during August, after all in previous months and years also, there were a lot of so-called natural disasters that were certainly artificially caused by the use of climatic and other weapons. I would say that the most drastic example was the Hawaiian island Maui, which was literally but also selectively fired. I guess you know what means this selectively, not that all houses were burned. However, Virgo represents ecology, natural healing, healthy, untouched nature, protection of planets and animals. September 2023 will be recorded as a month in which many people show their willingness to save the destruction of the nature, to save the nature from the destruction, especially the fruits of nature. I guessed that the harvest in this September, will be less successful than in previous years because they prevented the growth of fruits and plants in June. They destroyed bees and so on. But I also assume that based on these transits, that will cause some reaction and positive criticism, and that some kind of protection of the planet we can expect from this September on. From an astropsychological point of view, Virgo is a sign that allows itself to always be right, to know everything, and to criticize others. Other earth signs also do this to a certain extent. However, Trines in earth signs this month symbolizes positive and purposeful criticism. Pardon my English. I will list for you further days when Trines will happen. Trines in earth signs will happen at the 8th of September, 15th, 21st, 25th, and 30th of September. And if we speak that Trine has an effect for 3 days or more, a bit more, then it looks that almost all this month we have Trines in earth signs. So these are the trines of the Sun or Mercury, which will be in Virgo, with Jupiter, Uranus, and Pluto, which will be in Taurus or in Capricorn. Some would say that it is unusual that we have so many harmonious aspects to appear now, when nature, human nutrition, and the economy are in such drastically bad state, not to say on the brink of destruction. But you see, it seems that anything is possible. Will there be significant events in the world around these dates? Will there be any agreements or decisions at the highest level to stop this terrible destruction of nature and biological life, or to stop the use of climate weapons? I don't know, but astrologically something like that is very possible. The motto of this transit is stability with upheaval. Transits, not one, but all of those trines. So you may be wondering where this optimism comes from. My optimism. Firstly, I try to interpret all transits in the most positive way, as you maybe know. I'm not speaking in panic and saying that they're destroying the planet. I usually try to speak what can we do in order to stop this. And secondly, it is not good to repeat these evil plans that they have. It is much better to answer in a positive way, to create a positive version. September is extremely favorable for people who have planets in Virgo, Taurus, and Capricorn, especially for those who have planets in the second and third decades of those signs. Of course, the stars will be Virgos themselves, who still have their new moon on the 15th of the month. Let me remind you that every sign has one new moon once in a year, and that's when a new energy pattern is initiated. I talk about that in many of my video lessons that I have on my website, but unfortunately they are not in English. So on the new moon, a new energy pattern is initiated, and if we understand it in a proper way, then we can use it also in a proper way in the next 6 months. This new moon now is at 21st degree. It will affect the most Virgos who have the sun around this degree. On the day of the new moon, the trines we mentioned are active. So these Virgos will have a lot of luck in business and material field for the next 6 months. For some, this period will be significant for the entire future life, especially for those who have sun, moon, or ascendant exactly on this 21st degree. And for all of us, a new 6-month period begins, in which some more, some less will work on harmonizing mainly material issues. We can even say that we will be more at the service of others, possibly at the service of our planet. We will not be hungry. It is certain that everything will be enough with these trines. These trines promise some sort of security and stability, which we need very much before the eclipse season starts. Because this eclipse season will bring, how to say this, big shifts in the world. So it seems that somebody knows what is doing and preparing something before big shifts happen. However, at the time of the new moon, Venus, the planetary ruler of Taurus, squares Jupiter. This aspect accompanies us almost the whole month. The square of Venus and Jupiter leads to exaggeration in every sense. It signifies a conflict between knowledge and desire, a conflict between two opposite principles, let's say desire and spiritual life. On September the 4th, Venus becomes direct, while later on September the 5th, Jupiter becomes retrograde. So the situation is unusual because Venus is the ruler of Jupiter in this constellation. The square is exact on the 17th and slowly wanes after that. This means that first half of September is very bad period for weddings, agreements, contracts, diplomacy, and legal processes. Jupiter, symbol of father, guru, priest, and judge, loses power here, can be corrupted or cheated. In the videos in previous months, I talk about the fact that Venus in Leo, especially retrograde, potentially symbolizes these sexual scandals and child abuse. And I assume that square of Jupiter and Venus can also mean the prevention of court processes concerning these affairs, or to say crimes. Of course, little is known is presented in the public, so I don't know what we will know about this. By the way, Venus squares Uranus also on September 29th, and it's also ruler of Uranus, because Uranus is also in Taurus, as Jupiter is. This aspect is active only for a day or two, so it cannot bring anything significant, but it is interesting if we take in account the previously described square of Venus and Jupiter. So if anything new is initiated on the 29th of September, then this square will be active in the time when what is initiated lasts. So this is not a very good combination for developing relationships, also not good for diplomacy. It also symbolizes sudden changes in the field of finances. The aspect mostly affects people who have planets around the 22nd degree of Leo and Taurus. So if diplomacy will not be successful, something else will be, I guess. And what can be? Well, just on the 29th, when the described square appears, there is also a full moon in Aries. It is the peak of a 6-month period for Aries. It is time to bring something to an end, perhaps even in a conflicting way. So conflicts are possible in the world with this. The full moon is at the 6th degree of Aries. Aries and Libra who have planets around this degree will be very busy. For some, one professional phase ends, for others, one phase in partnership life. Interestingly, this degree is marked in Hindu astrology as the degree of prudence. Maybe it is necessary to have a bit of prudence before October eclipses. The full moon in Aries leads us further to the topic of eclipses that await us in October. I will, as I said, talk about that what they will bring on the world level in October video, and here I will mention how they can affect lives of individuals. First, there will be a solar eclipse at the 21st degree of Libra on October 14, followed by a partial lunar eclipse on October 28 at the 5th degree of Taurus. The solar eclipse will bring a reversal to Libra and Aries, who have planets around the 25th degree. Let's take 5 degrees plus minus this 21st degree. It is known that every eclipse which is near to any of the significant points of our horoscope can bring about a 180-degree shift. Eclipses were always very important in old cultures, in the close east, in Mesopotamia, also in Indian tradition. I guess also quite popular in Egyptian tradition. But Western astrologers do not speak much about that. It is maybe because eclipses are also connected with the concept of reincarnation. So they talk about our spiritual path, which is differently understood in Western countries. So can bring this change for 180 degrees. It is further interesting that this degree is designated in some systems as the degree of wealth and carelessness. Interesting, the 5th degree of Taurus. No, this is not about that. No, this is the 21st degree of Libra. 21st degree of Libra. So if you have planets or horoscope points in Libra or eventually in Aries around the 21st degree, your relationship to life will certainly change in accordance with this mentioned degree and in accordance with your life so far. For every Libra or every Aries, this will mean something else. If one has lost during his present life and forgot the needs of his own soul and neglected the reasons for which he was incarnated, then this eclipse will bring him back to the track. Certainly these eclipses bring weddings and divorces and new partnership, whether private or business, but everything depends, I said, on personal horoscope and on that how you lived until now. In general, not much can be said, but if we speak about the specific horoscope, then we can understand what this is really about. The next eclipse is the lunar eclipse at the 5th degree of Taurus. It is the last one in a series of eclipses on the Taurus-Scorpio axis. The next eclipses on this axis will happen in 9 years, but it will be in opposite direction. Now they are towards Taurus and then will be towards Scorpio. Of course, Taurus and Scorpio have changed their value system with these eclipses in the last 2 years. Relationships and professions also. And this is because their value system changed. In one way or another, everyone ends an 18-year period, and in order for life to have meaning further, it is time to start a new path, or to continue this one, but to give it new meaning. From experience, I can say that many Scorpios and Taurus people refuse to accept the changes that are inevitable. And many of them act like as nothing is happening. So why is it so? Well, this is because they are fixed signs that cling to old values and habits as long as possible. Taurus people particularly do not know what to do now because they would keep their conservative way of looking at life. But apart from the eclipses, they have Jupiter and Uranus in their sign. However, one should not be afraid of the changes. So I can say here that when we analyze the symbolism of these events in October, we see that everyone who has planets around the 5th degree of Taurus, even some who have planets around 5th degree of Scorpio, will have quite successful life. And there is also some sort of continuation in relation to the lifestyle they have until now. So this is especially true for people who have Sun, Moon, Venus, Jupiter, Mercury, or the Ascendant around the 5th degree of Taurus. These people can definitely live very successful life thanks to their talents, especially if they know about their talents. I also talk about these eclipses, these October eclipses, in my video for 2023. The name of it is Year 2023 in Search of Land. So if you don't want to wait until October to see what will happen in the world, check that video. I think around the middle part of the video I talked about eclipses for this year. And that is all for now. All of the videos and recommended, my web pages and everything that was recommended, you will find under this video on YouTube. Feel free to schedule personal consultations with me. Everything that I offer you will find on my web pages, symbolicthinking.net. I also offer a method, consultancy based on method that I call the change of the code, the change of the perception. This is the method that I have developed while working with clients in recent years with the help of the techniques that I learned and applied before. Everything is explained on my web pages. Check it if you want to work with yourself and to learn more about your conscious and subconscious part and to change the codes that we find there. If you like the video, like it, sign up for my channel, and thank you very, very much for that in advance. I wish you happiness, joy and stability, and see you soon.